Hey everyone, welcome to Cos-fession. Today's segment we are actually going to be doing something that I'm going to be calling Comic Book Club. So today's segment is actually going to be focusing on Teen Titans The New 52. That's by Pfeiffer, Rocafort, and Brown. I'm going to be discussing a couple different points that any normal book club would talk about, but since this is comic books, I'll be holding them up and I'll be showing you exactly how I feel about certain panels. And so yeah, let's just get right on into it. For me, I'm completely biased when it comes to Teen Titans because I constantly find it engaging because it's one of my biggest fandoms. So, I mean, yes, this, broadcast and vlog or whatever you want to call it is going to be, a bit one sided. But since I do have a degree in studying English, literature, and everything, I will look at this from an outside perspective and I will try and judge it 100% just on the content and not my own personal views. Specifically looking at the first issue, I thought Bunker was a complete badass. Like, he didn't care that he was a superhero. He didn't care that he had an image to uphold. He cared about the fact that, someone insulted him and he was going to stand up for himself. And I actually really liked that because a lot of, superheroes in comics lately, they're concerned when the media comes around and they're like, oh man, the press is here, we need to like peace out or something. And he was like, no, I don't care who's listening, I don't care who's watching, I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind because I don't like the fact that you're disrespecting me and I can do something about that, so remember that. While I found Bunker's reaction, awesome and amazing for a comic, I actually don't think it would be good for real world application because, you shouldn't handle a situation that way. Like that's one of the things where, comics used to be all about, teaching a lesson to the story. And I feel Bunker's reaction is giving the wrong impression of how to handle a situation like that, how to handle a situation when someone is attacking you as a person or a part of your identity. You shouldn't, lash out and be aggressive towards them. You should talk to them in a kind, rational way. So even though I was like, yeah, Bunker, I don't think in the real world this would have gone over so nicely. And I don't believe that readers should take too lightly to how, he's being portrayed so far because he's being portrayed as a strong, independent character. But at the same time, if you were to take him out of the comic and put him in a real world application, it wouldn't be as amazing. He wouldn't be a person you would really want to hang out with. So I think Bunker later on in the series is going to wind up being a problem. Following Bunker into the second volume with the issues that I had with him in the last volume, I found that, he's still very quick to jump to aggression. And I might just have the Batman moral built into me, but, I didn't think that this was going to be the level of violent that it really was. And I was actually surprised because Teen Titans being the DC universe, I expected, them to not murder as much. But Bunker straight up just blows a guy's head off. So, like, I think that was really overdone, but at the same time, it's playing really well into the aggression that they portrayed in the first one. So, as a follow up, it actually blends really well because in the first one, we're seeing his aggression start to develop and we're seeing that he has a hot head and a quick fuse, and that's actually portrayed very well in the second one when he completely blows the guy's head off. So, I mean, Bunker to me is starting to be a character that I really don't care for, actually. I'm not a huge fan of him, even though I'm actually really starting to fall in love with the relationship he has with Gar. But at the same time, I'm also a sucker for Beast Boy because you all know my favorite's Raven, so biased again there a little bit, sorry. But yeah, so Bunker, I'm not feeling you so far in this series. When we jump into the third comic, I actually want to point out that I was happy to know that it wasn't just me who was thinking Bunker was starting to go a little power crazy, because in one panel, Beast Boy actually points out, and he straight up says, he's like, you think that was a little, I don't know, overkill? And he's like, you're joking, right? That guy was going to shoot us. And so, like, Beast Boy is even being like, wow, buddy, like, yeah, they're bad guys, but you don't need to be so aggressive about it. So I was actually really happy that they actually made a point for Beast Boy, who is Miguel slash Bunker's, best friend at this point and like main man, that he is pointing out to Bunker that this isn't okay. Your aggression isn't geared in the right place and that you need to check yourself. Looking to the art style now, I want to take a look at 4, 5, and 6 because I actually feel that, the art is declining in a way. Like, it's not as good as it once was. And I'm going to show you examples in each issue via pictures of Wonder Girl. So here she is in 4. That's really great artwork. Like, that's absolutely wonderful. But then as you go to the next issue, volume 5, like, Wonder Girl is supposed to be sexy and powerful, and then you get a panel like this in 5. Like, what are you doing to her face? Like, yeah, it's supposed to be rage, and I get that, but she's, supposed to be the sex appeal of this issue, and you kind of destroyed that. And then you go on to number 6, and it's like you didn't even try, like you just gave up. Like, there's no reason that this art has to look like this. Like, I think there's a serious decline in their effort value in each issue. I'm hoping the next one, because I have the next issue, I have 7, but I haven't read it yet, and I'm hoping 7's art style goes back to normal. It goes back to actually giving a crap and putting effort into the drawings, because I feel like this entire issue, I hated it. I hated it because I couldn't get past the art style. I couldn't even recap this for you, is how much my mind did not pay attention when I read this. And it's really sad because they introduced, Power Girl in this one, and I really enjoy Power Girl, and I didn't even care for it because the art itself ruined this issue for me. And that's really surprising coming from Pfeiffer, Hepburn, and Brown, but at the same time, I think it's because I'm used to the trio of Pfeiffer, Rockefort, and Brown, and I love Roquefort's art, and it's not really fair because I am comparing Rockefort to Hepburn, but at the same time, like, you're gonna start the series with Rockefort, who has impeccable design and taste, and it's just phenomenal, and then you're gonna go to Hepburn, who is more cartoony and animated, and yes, Teen Titans cartoony, animated, duh, but at the same time, when I'm used to seeing this type of work, I don't really want to see Herp Derp Wonder Girl running around with an animated half-assed face. Like, this is not appealing when you start off with something like Rockefort. Like, if you wanted to do it right, you should have done Hepburn then Rockefort, because this would have been an improvement. So I'm really hoping that the next volume isn't Hepburn. And I know that's really mean to say, but I don't care for your style, and I think it's a decline in the value of the issues, and it's making me, a huge fan of Teen Titans, not want to read these, and that's really terrifying, because I literally will read anything Teen Titans. Like, and this is ruining the series for me. Overall in the series, I admire and disapprove of different characters. I'm not the biggest fan of Bunker, and I thought I was going to based on the first issue. Like, I was like, yeah, stick up for, yourself and promote, equality. But he's taking it in a completely violent and awful way, so I'm really not approving of Bunker. I'm really enjoying the Bunker Bunker Beast Boy relationship. I find that to be completely compassionate and sweet, and I just absolutely love them being best friends. I wasn't expecting to be a fan of Wonder Girl, to be honest, but I've really grown to actually love her, and so Wonder Girl kind of snuck up on me and made me love her. Raven, of course, is perfect and flawless because it's Raven, and I love Raven in every depiction she has, so I can't really, be non-biased when it comes to her. But yeah, overall, I found it comforting to know that I don't approve of all the characters. It's not like this superhero wonder team. It's Teen Titans. They're flawed. They have problems. They have anger issues. They're concerned about their looks. They're concerned about the most ridiculous things because they're teenagers. And I actually like that. I like that they're not perfect. I like that, they're not controlled. Even though it is the DC universe, and I still have the Batman feeling, and they're just going around, like, obliterating people, that kind of threw me through a loop. But at the same time, I like that because they're not Batman. They're a different branch of the DC universe that is compiled of a bunch of teenagers who can barely control their hormones, let alone their powers. So yeah, they're gonna lash out, they're gonna get angry, and they're gonna kill stuff, and I kind of really like that. And it's a side of Teen Titans that, I wasn't really ready to be exposed to, but at the same time, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So overall, I'm really enjoying the new 52 Teen Titans. There are things that I'm not okay with, like Bunker kind of ruining the fight for equality with his aggression, and along with the art style that's slowly declining with the change of artists. So if those two things can, wind down or go back to normal, I would appreciate that. I would like to see Bunker cool down and, start to take an intellectual approach to fighting for equality. And I would like to see, Hepburn not do the art for it anymore and to go back to Roquefort, because I feel like we were spoiled with Roquefort and now we're forced to sit through Hepburn's art, and like that's really harsh and mean and to say, but that's my personal preference and I'm allowed to have an opinion. And being an avid fan that I am, I feel like Hepburn is not the artist that should be working on the new 52. And that's all I really have to say about it. I mean, it's a great series. Definitely pick it up. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, if you have any questions or you want to comment on anything that I said, because I know I'm probably going to insult a lot of people by the whole Hepburn Roquefort thing, feel free to comment below. Also, if you have any comics you want me to read and analyze next month, feel free to comment below or write to me or write to Dear Cos-fession, and I'll answer, everything I can. As always, links are below, so, check them out. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media and, write in if you have any questions, write in if you have any comments, comment below if you have any comments on what I've said today. Unboxing videos of Loot Crate and Nerd Block will be happening later this week along with Feature Friday, so you want to stay tuned for all that fun stuff that's going to be happening. So see you next time at Comic Book Club, and remember to bring your nerd on, because we're going to be talking about a lot more comics, and I'm probably going to have a lot more opinions that are going to insult some people out there.